7 liters. 428 cubic inches in a Mustang. We were expecting a cataclysm on wheels, the automotive equivalent of the end of the earth. We were pleasantly surprised to discover that the Gt500 isn't anything like that. The old corollary to that old adage, "There's no substitute for cubic inches," is except rectangular money, and who would know better than Carroll Shelby? When the Cobra 289 peaked out on the racetrack, there were several ways of making it go faster, most expensive, one cheap. One of the more expensive ways was the Daytona coupe body. The late Ken Miles found a better way. At Sebring in 1964, he shoehorned a Ford 427 NASCARized engine into a Cobra Roadster. The experiment came to rest, sorely bent, against a palm tree, but Miles persisted. By the end of the season, at Nassau, he had another one bolted together. It blew up, but the die was cast. Early in 1965, Shelby announced the Cobra 2 with a 427 cu in V8 replacing the 289. That June, at Le Mans, two of Ford's rear-engined GT prototypes appeared with the big 427 instead of the 289. The Europeans hooted and jeered at the bulky, heavy, unsophisticated V8 with its pushrods and single 4-barrel carburetor. A year later, Ford 427 swept the first 3 places at the French Classic, with Shelby's 2 entries dead-heating the final lap. What the 427s had beaten was a team of 270 cu in Ferrari V12s with multiple carburation and 4 overhead cams hafts. The Italian engine developed almost as much horsepower as the Ford, 425 HP versus 485, but it was much more tautly stressed and, therefore, fragile. Which is the whole point of 7-liter Fords, Cobras, and now, Shelby Mustangs. 467, Ford offered the Mustang with their tried-and-true 390 V8, which has a bore and stroke of 4.05 x 3.78 inches. Ford also builds a 428 V8 on the same block with a bore and stroke of 4.13 x 3.98 inches. Why not, reasoned Shelby, use this engine in the '67 Shelby Mustang? Why not indeed? The car is called the Gt500 and its engine is called the Cobra Le Mans. Somebody is telling a little white half-truth. Please note that the Cobra Le Mans engine displaces 428 cubic inches. That sounds like a hair better than the 427. In fact, they are 2 entirely different engines. Both have the same external dimensions, but the 427 is more over square, with a bore and stroke of 4.23 x 3.78. The 427 is a racing engine, full of the kind of intestinal fortitude that makes it capable of enduring 500 miles at Daytona and 24 hours at Le Mans. The 428 is a passenger car engine, and nearly $1,000 cheaper than the 427. Few people would be happy with the 427 unless they were racing it. It's noisy, bulky, and an oil burner at normal highway speeds. The Gt500 is not a racing car, although but for a few subtle differences its engine is the same as the one that propelled Shelby's Fords to victory at Le Mans. 7 liters in a Mustang. The early Gt500 engineering prototype was the fastest car ever to lap Ford's twisty handling loop, except for the GT40s, of course. And the same car cut a quarter mile in 13.6 seconds at 106 miles per hour supercar. View photos. View photos.